Hey everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's fan reactions time. Liverpool dispatched Brighton and Hove Albion by 2-0 at the Amex in the early kickoff on the Saturday, closing the gap to Manchester City once again to 3 points ahead of their Monday night game against Palace. And yeah, comfortable afternoon, pleasant viewing for Liverpool fans around the world. Luis Diaz opened the scoring and also gave us probably the most uncomfortable moment of the afternoon as he's completely cleaned out by the goalkeeper Sanchez, who shockingly didn't even get a yellow card for the foul. The game wore on. Liverpool dominated possession. They had the lion's share of the creative opportunities, couldn't quite put it to bed. And then in the second half, Liverpool finally managing to add the second goal, a penalty by Mohamed Salah, giving Liverpool the 2-goal lead and enough to see them over the line. Get me your thoughts right now if you are live with me here on YouTube into the members only chat in the comments. If you want to tweet us, do that. There's a tweet over on @TheRedmenTV on Twitter right now asking for your thoughts. You can put them in there and I'll read through some of the best ones there as well. If you're a Club Legend subscriber to Redmen Plus, use the Club Legend Discord chat, and I'll take turns going through all of those. But if you want to comment read by me, then just put Mate at the start, and that way I know you're talking to me rather than just having an internal conversation, which you are absolutely welcome to do as well. Right, kick things off on YouTube then, and the app says, if someone can explain to me what the criteria is for a red card nowadays, that would be great, because apparently I don't have a clue. A big 3 points though, closing the gap up the Reds. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad it's one of those games where the Sanchez Sanchez power kneeing Diaz into next year as he headed the ball into the back of the net. That should be a massive talking point, and it will be. And we'll definitely do more on it on the instant match reaction, certainly, because it's worthy of conversation. It's mad. It's mad how that's not more. Like, the referee's just got that horrendously wrong. And the thing for me is that I just want to know what Mike Dean's thinking. I want to know what Stuart Atwell on the VAR is thinking. How have they done the? It's like in school. So when you used to do exam papers, like maths in particular, they show you working out. And that's so they know you haven't just cheated, effectively. They want to know. Knowing how to come up with the answer is almost as important as knowing the answer. It's why they used to make Carol Vorderman write all the things out, and they make all the contestants on Countdown work it out with the numbers. And you'd see it in front of you, and you go, and you learn something along the way. I want to learn something along the way here. I want to know what Mike Dean saw in that made him think, nah. And then, beyond that, given that it went to VAR, and everything goes to VAR. VAR is big brother. It watches constantly. But the fact that they made a point of it's being looked at for serious foul play, and it's been clearly rewatched. They made the graphics and everything. They had it up on screen. And what is Stuart Atwell seen or not seen there? I just want to know his thought process, right or wrong. I just want to know what he thought. Nah, that's fine. Or did he go? Or did they think, it's a goal anyway? Or did he think, well, we can't? I don't know how to deal with that, because I wondered if Diaz had headed it wide, would that have changed it? But if that would have changed it, why? Why would that have changed it? Foul play is foul play. You can get sent off for off the ball tackles. Interesting. So I agree with Andy App there. A bit of clarification would be nice. Not because I'm ready to. I can be asked going out with my pitchfork. I just kind of want to know. I watch football all the time. I analyse it for a living. It'd be nice to know if there's like a significant rule change that I should be made aware of. That'd be nice. Anyway, FPL skills. That wasn't our best performance in the match today, but we got the 3 points. Diaz is a baller, brilliant. Yeah, it wasn't our best performance, but it was possibly our best performance for a couple of weeks. It was a game that Liverpool won at a canter, and there's a couple of brief moments. Danny Welbeck forced a good save out of Alisson, of course. Mope has a reasonable effort, but beyond that, Liverpool just did the business, just worked their way through the gears. I agree. I don't think they got into top gear, but equally they did cruise for a good spell of that game, and maybe the final 10 minutes Brighton threw the kitchen sink at it just to try and get something out of it. And and then not without too much returns, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, it's weird. It's a hard to analyse game. It's just a game of football, and it's a game of football that largely went how games of football are meant to go. When you've got a team that's second in the league, you know, and going for Champions League glory, playing against a team that's really hit the level they're probably going to be at. Brighton, you know, Brighton could have got as high as 9th this weekend, but they couldn't slip below 13th, I don't think, so, or 14th. You know, that's where they're at, you know, and they might have some more difficult, you know, times in the coming weeks. Newcastle are coming up on the rails, and they're the team that look most likely to reel them in. But yeah, that's where Brighton are, and Liverpool got the result that the sort of the standings sort of deserved. And but Brighton were good. But Brighton handled themselves really well, more physical, maybe on the wrong end of it, really. You know, Neil Maupay leaving one in on Alisson was a bit naughty as well, to be fair. But yeah, fine, absolutely fine result for the mighty Reds. The Red Guy 8 says it needs to be said. Goalkeepers get stupid protection from officials. Sanchez's challenge on Diaz was awful, and it's a joke that he wasn't sent off. Diaz's career could have been ended. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think goalkeepers get great protection from officials, if I'm being perfectly honest. But in that regard, like, he has. The goalkeeper's been protected for some reason, and reasons we won't be privy to. They've got that horrendously wrong there, but it's right. And again, a lot of this is the rules and VAR and the uncomfortable situation that leads to. Because again, we don't know. Did Mike Dean go, I'm not sure, I'll leave it to VAR. I'll leave it to Stuart Atwell, and he'll tell me, because we know that happens with offsides. And we know that happens with some big decisions where they just go, I can't be bothered putting my name to this, so I'll use the extra help. And that's, I mean, to be fair, that's them using the system in place. That's actually not, theoretically, that's not bad, but it actually isn't great for the flow of football matches, because it means that more and more often we're seeing forwards and defenders, you know, and playing on in football matches and leading themselves into potentially dangerous scenarios. Yeah, the keeper should have been sent off. We should just leave it at that, really. But yeah, mercifully, it wasn't a decisive moment in the game. Danny Hartley Smith, who is our exceptional mod here on YouTube, mate, that Matip pass though. Oh, Danny, yeah. That pass, and it's funny because you're right, because the talking points are all the foul, and not what a wonderful run from Diaz, what an incredibly brave header to stick himself in the way, what a great finish to get in the back of the net. But yeah, let's rewind it a step or two. Joel Matip just in acres of space, striding forward and majestic. He lifts it. He lifts his foot and curls it round. It's perfection. It's liquid football perfection from Joel Matip. It's a hell of a pass, and it's a hell of a goal. Brian Galo says, don't know how Sanchez stayed on the pitch, but it is what it is, I guess. Tidy 2-0 win otherwise, and that was a good way to bounce back after the Inter defeat. Yeah, I completely agree with that. And the thing is, again, bounce back is a funny old term, because I think we feel that more acutely than the players do. Like, because we take every game in its own isolation as fans, because we ramp ourselves up specifically for the football matches, whereas footballers live it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They look at Champions League knockout games as 180 minutes rather than 90 minutes. But I take your point. You know, you don't want to. It was a defeat. Liverpool lost an individual game of football, so yeah, no, maybe I'm being a bit too picky on the terminology, whatever there, mate. I do agree. It is good to Liverpool to get a comfy win, and it actually wasn't just Inter Milan, it was West Ham, where we could have done with just winning that a little bit more decisively. So yeah, no, very, very encouraging today. Very encouraging. Trig Josh, mate, I think that the refs should be financially fined for decisions they get wrong. Then that would be the end of the biased / shit refs. Maybe. I don't think the refs get paid enough, to be honest, mate, for that to be a, you know, maybe you're right, maybe that would hurt them more for it, but it's there's just something fundamentally wrong with the refereeing system, and the point is, largely, you're talking about the best of the best, and we go, oh, like Brighton, people might think Brighton are shit compared to them, but they're not. They're a Premier League team full of players who are playing in the Premier League, and the Premier League is in the top 1% of people who play the game of football on the planet. Of like 7 odd billion people, this is the teeniest, tiniest, less than 1%, like fractional percentage of the best of the best. And referees, from a technical skill set, these might be amongst the best, but like from a physical standpoint, they're not. I mean, look at Mike Dean, nice fella. I don't think he's the worst referee going, but like he's got punch. You know, like these are just, it's just a different. It's weird. It's just weird that like you're not. referees should be on that kind of peg, and they should be athletes themselves. But again, there's no money. There's no money in them being better. They don't need to be more than they are because there's no one driving them on. Football clubs need their players to be better, so they invest. They're individual companies investing in their athletes to make them more athletic, to get more out of them. The FA seemingly don't have that motivation. It's weird, very weird. Right, I'll come back to the YouTube live comments in a minute. I'm just going to go over to Twitter and grab some from there. Dean Murray at Dean Murray 6 says Diaz is some player, not firing on all cylinders, up top for Reds lately, but 3 points, clean sheet, pressure applied, up the Reds. Yeah, and that's the thing. It feels like, because we're integrating a new player into what we do, and he's doing brilliantly, but it has led to those fractional percentage drop-offs in a few different things that Liverpool do. We're trying to get Jota back in. He's had some injuries. Obviously, Bobby Firmino's been out, which is an issue we have to contend with. Salah's played a lot of football, man. He's played a lot of football. And yeah, I think with fractional percentage of things we've lost, but it's actually the all-round play that's really encouraging for me, because I know Salah's a goal machine, Mane's a goal machine, Jota's a goal machine, and Firmino, he's more of a creative machine, but I know he can score 20 goals because he's done it for us before. And again, you've got all these players that will come, and when Liverpool regain that extra couple of percentages in terms of the understanding, frightening, and it wouldn't shock me if that happened before the end of the season as well. Dean Foley says, so much in love with Luis Diaz. The guy's just so good, but when is it going to be acknowledged that Premier League refs are not fit for purpose? If they get sacked, they'll most likely never work again, and they shouldn't. Yeah, exactly. It's this is my point I was making earlier. They're just held to different standards. They are, because of how important Premier League football is, and the millions and millions and millions that are riding on it, and our as fans' personal happiness. We put our faith into a bunch of supreme athletes who've got everything going for them, but then in turn there's a tangential faith to put into these middle-aged fellas who must have mental issues, because like, nobody in the right mind would want to be a referee. Like, who would want to be that? The personality types it must attract, and then on top of that, all the stuff that goes with it. They're not very well paid for the professions. The people who are in those high pressure positions, like, and it's daft because I'm about to compare referees to teachers and doctors. So strap yourselves in. But the people in those environments whose expertise is the thing that's the guiding force behind all the things around there. They should be parity. They should be the ones earning the most. They should be the reward, and there should be a code and a set of standards. They should be held to the highest standards in return. But it's mad. Yeah, it is very, very weird indeed. Anyway, Matthew S. Stewart, professional win, job done. Move on to a tough one at the Emirates. Yeah, absolutely, and that's where Liverpool are at right now. We're not getting to really enjoy every game in isolation, because every game is just connected to the next game, connected to the next game, connected to the next game. And that's the problem with this world, where we need to be perfect up until the Etihad, and then we need to go beat City for all that to have been worthwhile. So it's quite exhausting in that regard. And you're right, it's a big one to come at Arsenal midweek. Emirates, tough place to go. We don't have a particularly great record there. It's fine, but it's not great. Yeah. We've earned the right for that to be a big game, and that's what this game was about, which is a bit stupid, but that's the footballing landscape that Manchester City have created, where you basically need to win every game of football every week. And wouldn't it be lovely if they would just do the decent thing and be human beings and drop some points to Crystal Palace, so that we could have a little bit of enjoyment and feel a little bit more like, whoa, it's on. And then the pressure on that Etihad game becomes a little bit less like make or break for the season. That would be nice, wouldn't it? But don't expect it to happen. Okay, we'll go into our Club Legends Discord chat. Just want to apologise to everyone, by the way. We put a bot in there just to make sure we had a couple of instances where people just some ill-advised things said, and we've cleared it all up. But yeah, there's a couple of swear words that have been filtered at the moment, which are absolutely fine to use. By the way, we're going to get Ross to tidy that up this week. But yeah, the bot is just windmilling around, punching people for saying mild swear words at the moment. If anyone remembers, Liverpool tried their own social media style account on the back end of their website about 10 years ago, and it had the most stringent policy on language, and I uploaded a video to there, and it was soundtracked by the Ragamuffins, and it got pulled from their website because the Ragamuffins has the word muff in the middle of it. True story. There you go. But anyway, regardless. Josh Hall says, mates, that could have been a tricky game for us today. Turns out it was a walk in the park and we won comfortably. Imagine bringing Jota and Thiago on a 2-0. Feels like cheating. Yeah, mate, honestly, it genuinely does. It really, really does. And Josh Hall advanced to level 4. See, the bot's doing some good. It's handed out some positivity there as well. Good on you, bot. Scott T says, boss game, professional performance. Hope Salah isn't hurt too much. We will need him midweek. Yeah, apparently Klopp said that Salah thinks it's not too serious, but there's no need to be daft at this point. This is not, there'll be hopefully there'll be a run of like 4 fixtures which are do or die in about 6 to 8 weeks time. By all means, push through in them games, Mo. But until then, it's fine. We've got the players. It'd be cool. Abe says Matip's pass was prime Xavi, a whole backline of creative midfielders. They genuinely are, and that's the thing. I talked about this about Nat Phillips and how in a bygone era and a not so long bygone era, I'm talking maybe 10 to 15 years, Nat Phillips is a starting centre half for Liverpool and a brilliant one for us, and we adore him, and he probably plays like 200, 300 times for the club, but he's trying to play in a Liverpool team now that's basically got lads who 20, 50, that similar era would have been playing as DMs at worst, but really probably creative central midfielders, wingers, centre forwards. Honestly, that's how good our centre backs are. It's ridiculous. Yeah, Scott actually making a mention here with stuff we talked about earlier. Pretty sure if Diaz didn't score, a pen would be given, and they can't give a red because of the double jeopardy rule. Oh, exactly. But that's the point. Is that it's mad. It's just is this just a situation where there's just a mad sliver of a gap between the rules making sense, and this is just like a penny falling down a grate, and it's just falling straight down. It's the exact measurement width of a penny, and it's stuck in there, and that's this one incident is exactly that. But yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Absolutely mad. Right, sound. Right, Sal, thank you so much. Right, we'll get over to the live chat on YouTube for one more time before we wrap up. Brian Glow saying don't. Oh, sorry. Trig, Josh, I've done. Here's Patrick. Hey, don't know how Sanchez wasn't sent off. If Neville thinks it should have been a red, then you know it's a red. Naby was decent. Hope the Salah injury isn't bad. Yeah, Naby was another decent game for Naby. I've really enjoyed him being a bit gnarlier and being a bit more physical, and I think I want to see like 10 games when he's available for 10 games, by the way, of him being a bit of a stopper, and then once he's proven he can do that, then start to get let off the leash a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, because I think he's got more to offer. Tremendous footballer, but yeah. Right, sound. Jalea family, if we switch to Redmen Plus, can we cancel YouTube subscription and Redmen and still follow, watch along, etc. on YouTube? Yeah, so I understand this is slightly complicated, and we've tried our best. So obviously the one perk that YouTube members can get that we can't legitimately offer to people off the YouTube platform is the members only chat. But we have the club. If you're a Club Legend subscriber on Redmen Plus, we've got the Discord chat for guys, so we can try and replicate it sort of that way. But the best thing we do is Redmen Plus. It's like our Patreon, but also it's a Patreon that comes with effectively a full streaming service dedicated to Liverpool. So obviously documentaries and interviews, as well as extra Redmen shows and more us with regards to like the Discord and stuff. So yeah, Danny's done a good job of explaining that in the comments as well. So yeah, the best thing we do is Plus, but I understand that people just like YouTube and people don't really want to get involved with other things, so that's cool. So if you want to get involved and you want more interaction on YouTube and you want to support what we do, YouTube membership is a cool way to do it. But YouTube take a big old slice of that, and we built our own platform to sustain what we do, and that's what Redmen Plus has evolved into effectively. So yeah, it's still the best way to get the most Redmen content, to get the most bang for your buck in terms of supporting what we do, and give us the most bang for your buck in terms of what we're able to take from that and then put back into the business. So yeah, hopefully that's explained it. But thanks so much for asking the question, because I know it's a one that it's hard to explain unless it's put onto you expressly. Right, so particularly Reds, I just hope Diaz is okay. Could have been really nasty. Also, Brighton players are dirty. Yeah, they are. They try to get in Liverpool's faces, but the problem is that when you've got creative players who then become that, and it doesn't quite go the way, they lose it, and then they become late and they do stupid things. That Mopé one on Alisson was not as bad in terms of the actual the tackle or the contact itself, but it was bad. It was bad as well. Right, sound. Tony Blakeway. I did some work at the Premier League once with their payroll team. I've seen what they get paid, and while refs aren't near player salaries, it's well above the norm. Yeah, it is right. I mean, I couldn't say, but I also know there's a lot of referees who still go and do lower tier stuff for 50 quid or whatever it is to get paid for stuff. It's a funny old world. Right, Red Guy 8 says, mates, if Salah is genuinely injured? Yeah, apparently it's not too bad. And it didn't look too bad, to be fair. It got almost just a little bit of something. I think it's the hope is that it's enough that a couple of days, a bit of rehab, he'll be back for Arsenal. But obviously what he wants to make sure is that if he can't make Arsenal, he's not out for a long extended stretch. International break coming up as well. So yeah, hopefully he should be absolutely fine. Yeah, and a great comment there. Just don't say poo if you join the Discord and you'll be sound. Thanks, Joe. Sound. Yeah, and Tony Blakeway says, does it dislike Scunthorpe as well? Yeah, probably. Mate, I'm getting tired of the Salah situation. Considering how much Salah earns now, if he's holding out for more money, that undermines his commitment to the club. Time to say goodbye, maybe. Look, I've said this. Chris and I are going to do a Redmen reaction to this afternoon, because I think it's really worth delving into, because it's too hard to put it in small bite-sized things. Try and talk about it from as many angles as possible, and it's never quite as cut and dry as people make it, and everyone wants it to be, because when things fit into small boxes, they're easy to get hold of and wrap your head around and understand, and also marginalised to some extent as well. So yeah, there's a lot more going on in the Salah situation, right or wrong, and we'll have a good old chat about that. But there you go, there's another reason to join Redmen Plus this afternoon, and me and Chris chatting about the Mo Salah contract situation. So yeah, tune in for that a little bit later on today. Right, that's it. We're going to wrap up here on YouTube for fan reactions. Thank you so much. If you were live in the comments, you guys are incredible. If you watched live, you're just as incredible. Everyone's incredible. Your boss, wonderful people, just like Liverpool Football Club. Yes, player ratings is coming up next with Chris Pajak. Then again, we'll be live in about just less than an hour's time, probably about 45 minutes time, over on Redmen Plus, doing the instant match reaction, more reaction to this game with me and Chris Pajak. Come and join us for that. Other than that, we'll just see you very soon. Ta-ra.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want even more Redmen TV content in your lives, both in video and podcast formats, do check out our subscription service, Redmen Plus, over on the redmentv.com. And Ross, why should these good people sign up to Redmen Plus?
You should do that right now, because you'll get access to exclusive documentaries, interviews, and all our pre- and post-match content. Plus, for the business end of the season, there's 2 games a week for most weeks, so you get even more for your money.
Head on over to the redmentv.com and sign up to Redmen Plus.